Clap sync. We don't need everyone to do it, but I just needed one person. All right,
well, let's make that the intro. Hey everybody, welcome to the All Chat Gaming Podcast. My name is Nick, and I am joined, as always, by...
Ryan,
Keefan,
and Tanner.
And this week has been a fun week, boys. A lot of crazy things has happened, like, for example, Infinity War. Wait, what did you say?
Nothing.
Okay, well, Infinity War happened this week. Unfortunately, Keefan has not seen it, so we can't talk about it on the podcast today.
But we can say
them finals will get you. We can't say anything, so throats might be slit.
Hey, Emily had finals.
Yeah, well, guess what? That's cool.
That's cool. But what we can say about it is that it was a movie, and it
did it include the Avengers?
I don't know. I think so.
And it was sometimes they were there. Yeah.
It was mostly diplomatic, not much fighting.
Yeah, not really. Thanos was also in the movie. It looked like in the trailers that he wasn't going to be in the movie, but he was.
Yeah.
That's Hawkeye.
like what?
Hawkeye, right, yeah. Oh, and Ant-Man was in the movie. He's always like this big on the screen every time.
So, yeah, you just didn't see him.
All right, but let's actually move on. Probably.
Yeah. Enough talk about Infinity War.
Until maybe next week.
Until maybe next week on the All Chat Gaming Podcast. But let's talk about what we played this week. And this week, I continued to play World of Warcraft. Why are you laughing?
I was just rubbing my hand up his leg.
Is that usual?
Yes, unfortunately.
Maybe you shouldn't sit next to Ryan anymore.
I'm going to have to separate you two.
Ryan did ask to sit next to Keefan.
So they're in cahoots.
Anyways, so this week I continue to play World of Warcraft.
Wow.
Wow.
That's almost as bad as his pun.
It is.
It really is as bad as my pun.
I've become just as bad.
But it's taking me a lot longer to level up my Death Knight. I think they did something to the leveling system. Actually, what they did
Or
was...
are you worse?
No, I'm not bad at the game. That's not the reason.
I'm going to be super professional really quick.
Anyways... so they changed the leveling system in World of Warcraft to where the zones scale with your levels now. So it used to be like you go to this zone, then it's level 1 through 10, and this zone is level 20 through 30, and this zone is level 30 through 40. But then they recently changed it so that you can go pretty much to any zone at any level you want, which was kind of a nice change because I wanted to go visit some areas I usually don't visit to level. But at the same time, it actually kind of increased the leveling process. It made it longer.
Well, plus you can go ahead and finish all the quests in the area too, because sometimes you don't get to do all of them because you get past a certain level. You're like, well, I'm not going to get anything from completing it after you get to a certain level.
But also at the same time, when you have to get a character to level 110, which is the current level cap, and I'm level 59 right now. It's like, well, this is going to take a while.
So, real question, because I thought now, like, for instance, if I were to get World of Warcraft, wouldn't it put me at a higher level? Like,
if you buy the current expansion, you get a free level 100 character.
Okay.
So new players don't have to slog through it if they don't want to. They do a little bit of a tutorial, but honestly, if you're new to the game, you should play it from level 1.
What if I don't want to play it at all?
You still have to buy the game. You just tell them, I'm not going to play this. I'm just buying it.
Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah, that's how you...
Support Blizzard. They're not doing well.
Yeah, clearly, with Overwatch being one of the most successful games of all time, they're doing so badly right now.
Oh, no, it is better to start from level 1 because the characters that I did the level jump on, I don't play them as much because I didn't, level up with them, and I didn't grow with the moves that you get.
You did less useful in the raids though as well because you don't know how to use them from
because
raids are pretty important, right?
Yeah. So it's better to start someone from level 1 and grow with them rather than just having to get slapped with all their abilities at once.
So you're level 59 now? How long did that take, do you think?
Well, so I made a Death Knight, and Death Knights are a hero class. So they start at level 55. That's just how they work. It's been like that since the Wrath of the Lich King expansion, which was 10 years ago, by the way. It was a very long time ago. Wow.
We're old.
But yeah, since they're a hero class, they start at a higher level. Just like the Demon Hunter is a hero class, so they start at level 100 because they came out at the current expansion. So yeah, but most of the other classes start at level 1.
Okay.
But I don't. But the Death Knight area actually, the starting area actually kind of teaches you the abilities, so you get a chance to kind of use them. But yeah, I don't know if I'm a big fan of this level update, but otherwise I'm just kind of waiting till the next expansion, which comes out in August 14th, I think. So I'm looking forward to that. It looks to be a pretty PvP heavy expansion with the Horde and the Alliance going at it because they're mad at each other because they always are. But you know what?
I'll be joining Nick too, so I'll be starting to play a little bit more WoW. This week I'll have a lot more free time, so.
Yeah. But yeah, that is pretty much all I've played this week, gentlemen. Ryan, what did you play?
Next to nothing, honestly. With
Tell us why.
With my girlfriend going
Leaving
back
you?
to Mexico. Shut up. Going to Mexico. That's where she's from. She went to go back with her family for a little bit. I spent pretty much as much time as I could with her, and so now she's back there. I'm not gonna see her for at least another month.
So you chose a girl over video games, like some kind of idiot?
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Great.
Yes, I have plenty of those. I've had those since I was 15.
And you are the oldest in this group.
I am the oldest.
You're the
But
patriarch.
I did play a little bit of. I did play a little bit of Heroes. I played a few games of that. I did play a little bit of Rocket League. But in terms of that's really about it. I didn't play much other than just the games on my phone when I had the time.
So this week has been finals week. So I haven't played as much as I would like, but then I also am kind of burnt out from school. So at the same time, I was not doing as much as I should have. But instead of playing more video games, I actually just looked up more editing things. So yeah, so I've been trying to learn how to get better with that. But also I did recently, so I turned on Thursday, so April 26th, I turned 27. So now I'm as old as this dude. And I got an Xbox Elite controller. And then I also got Hitman completely, which I've been wanting to have for a while because I played the 2 free levels or whatever. And man, is it fun. So I played a little bit yesterday. I played Sapienza and beat that campaign mission. And then I did an elusive target and also managed to beat that one. So that was fun. So elusive target's fun because you have one chance. If you kill them and you die, you don't get to redo it. If you die, you don't get to redo it. You can restart the mission before you've done anything. Really, but like as soon as it really starts kicking off, you basically need to either commit or you're screwed. So it's a lot more stressful, but it's also really fun.
So it's like double or nothing, basically.
Yeah, you go for it, and it's really fun because they also in Hitman you can press hold the right button or bumper, and it'll show you where your target is, and it'll outline them in red. But in elusive target, it doesn't. So you have to see you have to kind of know the maps. Fortunately, this is one of the few maps I actually knew, and so it shows you an area where they might be, and it gives you a little bit of their itinerary, and then you have to go and find them. So in this one, it was a guy who had a prostitute, an escort. Sorry, that's how they say it.
Not on my Christian podcast.
And I found her waiting for him, and I just kind of spied on her until he came around. And then I got too lazy to just follow around forever until I got to a secluded place. I just shot him in the head in front of everyone and then ran away.
Wow.
What a great hitman.
Yeah, it was awesome. It worked. In the actual campaign mission that I had done before that, though, I actually was a lot more sneaky. So I actually managed to kill both of the main people and shut everything down without being caught. I did kill a lot of innocent people. So my score wasn't as high. But I'm a hitman, so whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
I can kill people whenever I want.
I'm a hitman, so whatever. Keefen Bickmore, 2018.
Yep. So yeah, that's really all I've done. But yeah, the Elite controller and Hitman. And
Hitmen don't get paid overtime.
It's true.
They don't get paid commission either.
But that's pretty much. Oh yeah, I forgot. This is big news. Bought a Nintendo Switch.
Oh, you bought
did
one?
what?
Oh, you didn't even tell me that.
Yeah, I
We didn't even
know.
know.
I did it yesterday, last night.
What games you got?
So it's not going to come until tomorrow.
Oh, you bought it on Amazon?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but I'm going to have Zelda right off the bat, digital with the DLC because it was cheaper digital for some reason, by $20. So that's worth it.
It's a good deal, yeah.
I got a 128 gig memory card because you need that.
Yes, you
Mario
do.
Kart 8 Deluxe and Mario Odyssey.
That's exactly what Ryan got. Because Ryan, my brother-in-law, he got a...
Oh, I was like, you talking about yourself? You weirdo?
No, my brother-in-law, his name was Ryan too. But he also got a Switch with those exact games.
Yeah. And then, of course, Super Smash Brothers, whenever that comes out in probably December, I'll be excited to get.
Oh,
and
cannot wait.
My wife, Caitlin, really likes Nintendo, so we'll probably end up with, like, snipper clips and stuff like that. But yeah, that's my exciting news. So next week... I'll probably have a big mix of using my controller in Elite and Hitman, and then also Switch games. So
I'm excited to talk about Breath of the Wild with you.
Yeah, you'll have someone to talk about who's actually played it.
I'm really excited.
Yay. Okay. For me, I've actually been focusing on Overwatch Retribution because it closes in 2 days.
Oh, yeah.
And just the other day, I was playing with just random people, and I was talking with this one guy who was very nice and very helpful, and he was showing me different tips to beat Retribution on Legendary with all the heroes, not just the main 4, because I just don't want to deal with that. So he showed me how to do it, but I had to go before we could actually finish it. We had some other people that weren't choosing healers, and so we couldn't actually beat it that way. So what I actually want is with you guys, not you, because I know you hate Overwatch.
Not you,
I wouldn't say I hate it. I just don't really like it that much. Like, it's not like if someone's like, hey, here's Overwatch, play it with me, I'd be like, okay, cool. But I don't like it enough to spend money on it.
Right. And so Retribution closes in 2 days. And so I did beat it on Expert with him. He showed me. It was super easy. How he would do it is, well, I mean, what do you think is the hardest part about Retribution?
Maybe, is it the final part, maybe?
No, it's whenever you have to deal with
the assassins?
with the bigs. The
Oh,
guy that has
heavy assault ones.
Yeah, the heavy assault.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great name.
That's actually what they're called. They're just called heavy assault units, aren't they?
Oh, I thought you... Okay, whatever, continue.
Yeah. You don't know.
They said the bigs. Is that what they're called, or are they called heavy assault units?
We call them bigs sometimes, like...
The bigs?
Yeah, well, I mean, at least that's what he
never
was...
called
So
them
that's not what
that.
they're actually called.
No,
Thank goodness. Okay.
But you could just be like, oh... Some people do. I'm sorry.
Right.
Heavy assault bigs.
Anyway, what you do is that you have a Reinhardt and a Roadhog, and you need to get Whole Hog up, and then with Reinhardt you just swing the hammer, and it actually stuns him.
Oh, okay.
It stuns him, and then you do Whole Hog into his back, because that's where he'll actually take the most damage. And so you just and so if you're stunning him with the hammer, Whole Hog doesn't push him forward, and it just keeps him right there, and it takes him down in no time at all. And so it's very easy to do, and I want to beat it on Legendary before it comes to a close, which will be a sad day. So
It'll make room for Lucio Ball.
I know, I hope, I pray. But I'm wondering if Uprising is going to stay.
What do you mean, like stay permanently?
Yeah, or is it going to go away?
No, it's going to go.
It's going to go with Retribution?
They're event things only.
Oh, man.
Well, that's how they get you to come back and spend money on loot boxes. So
Well, what's unfortunate is that I was gone for more than a week
during the event.
And so I lose so much time, and then I get back. I have to like catch up at work. I have to catch up with a lot of things. I can't play, and so that's too bad. But yeah, I'll come back. I mean, if Lucio Ball comes back in the summer, which it better, and hopefully with another thing, because I want them to keep innovating. I'm going to come back and play. But we have 2 days to beat it on Legendary, and I'm counting on you guys to help me with that. All right?
Okay.
So not to take the podcast away from the discussion that we had set, but he reminded me because of saying loot boxes, they were actually declared illegal in Denmark.
Oh, yeah.
In Denmark?
As gambling.
And as we know, Denmark sets the laws for the world. So now that they've done it, as it's been always known, Denmark, center of the universe, basically.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now that that's been done, we'll see what happens. Well, honestly, that's a joke, obviously.
Well, a few other countries have done it too.
So honestly, with that though, like more and more happening, it's very likely that it's going to continue on that path of becoming more and more illegal, or just considered gambling and regulated.
Well, Hawaii is regulating it.
What does it mean? In Belgium, can the games just not have loot boxes? Well, what does it mean?
I didn't read into it. I just heard that they were banned. I'm sure it's probably a clickbait title. I'm sure there's like a stipulation like they can exist if they don't include this or if you can't purchase them with this.
Or they might have to have a higher ESRB rating, something like that. I'm sure they have to put it. I know some people wanted to make it so they had to put it on like the box of the game.
That
or,
this
like,
contains gambling.
Like show that it actually has that so that parents can be aware.
Okay, because I do know gambling isn't illegal in Denmark, but I know that these video games, if they are declared gambling, the games are aimed at kids, and gambling is illegal for kids. So I guess that's where the conflict comes in, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
That's my major problem with them is they're just gambling. For a lot of skins in Overwatch, I just want to buy the skin. You do that in Heroes of the Storm. You do that in League of Legends. You do that in a lot of other games. But for whatever reason, Overwatch has gone with the loot box system, and it's more forgivable than a lot of other loot box systems because you can earn them without spending.
Oh wow! So it's actually a big deal.
Yeah.
So a statement from Minister Justice Cohen Jeans said FIFA 18, Overwatch, and CS:GO were therefore illegal and demanded their loot boxes be removed. If they're not, the publishers risk a prison sentence of up to 5 years and a fine of up to 800,000 euros.
Okay.
When minors are involved, those punishments can be doubled. So this is an article I'm seeing on Eurogamer. So just give credit to them.
I think it's a pretty reputable source too. Yeah.
Publishers.
That's a big deal.
Publishers in Belgium. Because I'm going to say, like, what if the publishers...
No, but it specifically says FIFA 18, Overwatch, and CS:GO. They have to do it. They're the ones that have been looked at as bad.
Sure, that's fine. I'm just saying the punishment that the publishers may face...
Why just live in Belgium then?
I was going to say...
No, but I'm sure if they try to release their games there, they're going to get in trouble. So they probably just won't be able to release their games there, or they have to remove it for that market.
Well, I mean, I know, but as we showed, if they, like, come into Denmark, would they be arrested?
I have no idea.
I mean, it's just like, just live in America.
I'm not a lawyer.
I did not know it was that bad. Prison sentence?
And
fine?
800,000, and if minors are involved, double it.
Double? Wow.
So it's a big deal, but I kind of have to agree with it because I think it's a crap system.
It's horrible.
Like, loot boxes are terrible in my opinion.
It's an addictive. You're a psychology major. It's an addictive behavior because people are like
psychology grad.
Did I say student?
You said
major.
Oh. Well, you majored in psychology. It's the same thing.
Whatever. Continue.
Anyways,
no, but it is addicting. It's
an addictive behavior, and that's why it's a bad system.
But my other problem with that is, like, it's just like you don't want to spend your hard-earned money or parents' money if you're a kid or your parents probably don't want you spending their money.
Yeah, I want to spend my parents' money.
The kid probably doesn't even care at all. But on something that you don't know that it's going to give you, first of all, anything new or what you want. Like, someone that I watch a lot is Funhouse, and they love Overwatch, and they always kind of back it up and say that they do it well. But in my opinion, and maybe this is because I play a lot of League of Legends, but I think they do it the best. You want a skin, you spend money on that skin, you get it. It's not a, maybe you'll get the skin. Whatever you spend money on in League of Legends, you get whatever you spent the money on.
It's like that's Heroes too.
So, it's like, that's how it should be. It's the same with, I cannot think of the stupid Valve game right now.
Dota?
No. Where you have hats.
Smite?
Hats? It's an older game. Team Fortress.
Oh,
Thank
Team
you.
Fortress.
It's a huge game.
You wear the hats.
You can buy hats, but it's like, you know what you're getting when you're spending the money. That's how it should be, in my opinion. You shouldn't have to hope for it. Yeah. And maybe they can say, oh, it's because you're spending less money and you have the chance of getting something that would be more money in those other games. But then you might spend up to triple trying to get that one thing. So in my opinion, it sucks.
It's the greediest move by video game developers ever.
Pretty much.
I think. I mean, honestly, like, I like opening them, but I never care about getting them. And I'm wondering if it's just because I don't care as much about certain skins or something like that. Like, I'm just not invested. But like I was saying, the guy that I was playing with Overwatch yesterday, he had beaten it all in Legendary and Expert. So, but the reason why he was doing it is because he could get a lot of XP and get more loot boxes. For me, I wouldn't do that. I mean, I don't care about playing for loot boxes, but I know for a lot of people that is what they play for. And especially if you're a kid and you feel like, oh, I want I desperately want this skin, or I desperately want this spray, or whatever.
So I would say that's one good thing that they do is that you can play for it as well. Like like you're saying.
But still, it's random.
It's the same in League of Legends, though. You can play and get like chests and stuff, and it's going to be a random thing. But at least it isn't all you have to pay. It's not all microtransactions, right?
What? What's
to get skins in Overwatch? You can also play and get the boxes open and get a skin.
Yeah.
Well, you can get the skins in the boxes. Yeah.
Okay, so it isn't purely on spending money.
No.
Mm-hmm. I think that is
you can get
probably one
currency
thing
in the
they
boxes
do.
As well.
That is one thing that maybe sets them apart.
It's still very, very rare. Like I like getting loot boxes, but I've honestly only paid money for loot boxes once, because there's really, you don't really even get to see the skin, because you're the one you put on your character and then you see it from that first person perspective.
Everyone else gets to see it.
Yeah, everyone else. For everyone else, you
also, that is different than League, because in League you see your character.
You see your character.
But in Overwatch,
I forgot about it. It's a first person shooter.
Yeah, it's a first person shooter, so everyone else gets to see the skin. The most you get to see is
the gun.
The gun.
Can you change your gun in Overwatch?
The gun changes with the skin.
It changes with the skin.
So you couldn't get,
or if you have a golden gun.
Oh yeah.
You couldn't change like the color of your gun separately.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Unless you have a golden gun.
What's the golden gun?
So like you get competitive points for playing the competitive mode, and you can spend it. Literally, the only thing you can spend it on is golden weapons. So it just puts your weapon coated gold.
So it's not like a golden eye where they have like a
no.
Well,
it is like that.
Much a show off.
Yeah, it's not. It doesn't give you any special abilities. It's just cosmetic.
So, question for you people to play Overwatch: would you like that more? Would you like to be able to reskin your gun over reskinning your character?
Yes.
I guess so.
And not have to pay money for it.
Overwatch does do things to put, your skin in front of your face during times other than when you're playing.
Like victory screens, play the game.
Yeah. And so they do it, and when you choose your character,
or if you die.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when you die. Not as much though.
That's the best part, to see your skin, right?
Yeah.
It's
3,000 coin skin.
But I sure look good doing it.
What do you think? Would you rather have weapon skins or people skins?
Probably, I like the people skins better, because especially when the gun can morph with the skin, because if we're talking about Overwatch, no, I'd want the weapon skin a little more than the people skin, because but on like games like Heroes or League,
right. But I mean specifically Overwatch, because it's a first person shooter. A skin one might be better. Or maybe they separated it into different things so that you could do weapon and heroes or champ, whatever they are called in Overwatch skins.
You might just open up a whole new set of loot boxes there.
Yeah, but they already had it, right?
Well, so I do appreciate the thematic of the different skins. Like if it's during a certain event, like the summer games or winter, it is really cool. Like during the winter, I got the Yeti Winston skin, and it looks so awesome.
It's an awesome skin.
It's really cool, and and so it's like, even though I can't see it, I do like having it. During the game, I don't think about it, but so I mean, they're still like I still enjoy it. It's not like it's a waste, and since the gun does change with the skin anyway, it helps. But not to the point where I would spend money on it.
Okay.
It was a good discussion on loot boxes. We could probably go in depth another time about loot boxes as well. But speaking of gaming news, we'll move on to our gaming news topic of the week, which is an Xbox One update. Not just an Xbox One X update, but an Xbox One overall update.
I think it's S and X.
Yeah,
I don't know that it includes the original.
Well, not the original. Well, I don't care about the original anymore. But well, my dad has an original one, so he probably
I do too,
be
sitting
sad,
in the corner over there.
Yeah, but the S and the X are the main ones now. But I'm actually gonna let Kevin kind of take over this one because I don't know too much about it. Or I guess he's just gonna hand me this. Okay.
Hey, you're gonna try the podcast this week.
All right. So I'm just gonna read the first couple.
And this is
paragraphs
on
here.
GameStop.
No, it's GameSpot.
Spot.
GameSpot.com. New Xbox One system update out now, and here's what it does. Microsoft has rolled out the latest system update for Xbox One. This isn't a major one that transforms the basic look and functionality of the system's dashboard, but it does introduce some new features that will be welcomed by those who can take advantage of them. Many of the additions were either announced previously or were available for those in the Xbox Insiders program, which allows users to test upcoming system features. For instance, AMD FreeSync support is officially implemented for those with compatible displays. This is available on all Xbox One systems, although only Xbox One S and Xbox One X can output HDR with FreeSync as well. There's also a new auto low latency mode that can be enabled in the system settings. This lets your console send a message to your display, assuming it supports a low latency mode, to let it know to enable its game mode, which will help to reduce input latency, which is basically input lag. Consoles kind of have this problem, like where you try to do something and it takes it a little longer than it would. PC has the problem too, but that's why you use wired controllers more, I would say. But it's nice that there's an auto low latency mode because that helps a lot. Xbox One S and Xbox One X gain video output support for 1440p, which should come in handy for those who play on PC monitors. That makes this especially useful for those with FreeSync displays that don't offer 4K. I think that's pretty much it for that. They also came out with another update they just rolled out was 60 hertz and 120 hertz mode. Now that's a lot of tech mumbo jumbo, but basically you guys know what frame rate is, right? In a game, like there's 30 frames per second, 60 frames per second, and 60 frames per second is smoother than 30 frames per second because it's double the amount of frames. So it's a refresh rate. 60 hertz and 120 hertz on displays are the refresh rate. So if you have a 60 hertz monitor, a 60 hertz TV, the highest frame rate that you can see with your eye is 60 frames per second. But if you have a 120 hertz monitor or TV, then you can actually take advantage of having even higher frames than 60 frames per second, which results in an even smoother experience. So this is good for Xbox One and Xbox One S, Xbox One S and Xbox One X owners, because if the game supports a higher frame rate, the games will perform better for them and they'll run better. And auto low latency mode will help a lot as well, because the better the performance of the game and the less input lag, the more more smoothly the game will run.
Which is good for first-person shooters, especially.
Yeah, for games with reaction times, you need to make split-second decisions.
Not so much with RPGs or anything like that.
That's never been a big deal there.
But it's mostly big Call of Duty players or Fortnite or any of those games where a second is the difference between death and victory, I guess you could say.
And I will say this update is way more useful for the Xbox One X, because the Xbox One S is not very powerful. It's the besides the Switch, it's the least powerful console right now, and it's not going to be playing any games at 1440p. It doesn't play, it might play videos obviously at 1440 because it can support 4K video. It can. So that's probably the only reason they added it for that. But the Xbox One X getting 1440p output is really nice if you want to hook it to a PC monitor. I don't know how many Xbox One X owners do that. If you own an Xbox One X, let us know in the comments if you prefer using a PC monitor or a TV. But that's another thing I wanted to talk about is that 120 hertz is nice, but almost next to no games really support it on the Xbox right now. Because most games don't really run above 60 frames per second on the X or even the S.
Or even hit 60.
Yeah, or you hit 60. So it's, in my opinion, it's somewhat auto low latency mode is a good update, but the 120 hertz update kind of seems useless.
But I would say that it's also future proofing.
Yeah, that's another point I was going to make.
Because it only came out a little while ago, so it still has a little while to go.
Yeah.
So I would say that might be the one benefit. Maybe not right now. We won't see all those benefits, but within some future, it's very possible that
they might just be preparing for next generation. Maybe
Yeah,
I would love it if the next generation of consoles focused more on performance and frame rate than just resolution and graphics. Because the Xbox One X has done really well with the whole 4K resolution and stuff, so the games look really good. But let's get them performing better now.
Well,
so
a lot of games you can switch. So there's Hitman, for example, I can do performance mode or I can do visual mode. I don't actually remember. That's not what it's called. But I actually switched it last night to performance mode because Hitman has so freaking many people in every map, a ridiculous number, that it's can lag a little bit if you don't have it on performance mode, but on performance mode it just runs so smoothly that it's awesome. So I do like that they have that you can switch between those.
Yeah.
So if you want the pretty visuals, and I do it every once in a while, just if I'm looking out in like a pretty vista,
Right.
I'll switch it to that and just be like, I'll enjoy that, and then I'm gonna go back to where it's not laggy.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Ryan and I agree with everything that you guys are saying about this.
Well, hey, so here's a question for you both. Would you prefer your game to run better or to look better?
Depends. If I'm
Yeah.
playing Final Fantasy, I want to look better.
Mm-hmm.
Because
But you still want to run acceptably, though.
yes, I want to be able to play the game.
Mm-hmm.
But if it plays like, the games did for PlayStation 2, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it depends. Because when I got Final Fantasy 13 too, I mean, the game looked great, but it was lagging so bad because the performance didn't match up with the computer I had at the time that it was...
Was this on your laptop?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was on my laptop, and so I got to the big boss at the beginning, this huge blob thing, and the game, like the boss fight, took me about 15 minutes in IRL, but like game time, it was like there was like a clock on there. It said 3 minutes, so in game time only 3 minutes had passed. But in like actual time, 15 minutes had passed.
Oh, that sucks.
Because the game was running so bad.
It was running so
That's what's
poorly.
really funny.
So, I mean, obviously you want it to run better than that. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
but if I'm playing League of Legends or Overwatch, I'll take performance because I want to win. I'm not there to see the graphics. I'm there to win.
Yeah. In my opinion, I want both, and that's why I like to game.
Okay, well,
That's
all
why.
right,
That's
you call
why.
out.
Well, that's.
I don't want performance.
I refuse.
Well, no, I'm talking about it from
4K 10 frames per second. That's it.
I'm talking about it from the perspective of the consoles, because consoles are like the cheaper entry level into gaming, right? Because PCs, you can spend more money and you get more performance. Consoles, you can't necessarily do that. You get locked to the specifications of the console. So from a console perspective, I hope the next generation focuses more on performance now that we got the visuals, because I want console players to have high frame rates. I want console players to have options. I'm kind of a PC smug, I'll admit it, but that's because I'm going into career for it, and I just have learned that I really like playing on a PC, and I like the options it offers. But giving Xbox gamers more options is not a bad thing.
No,
so
it's a bad
I
thing.
like this update a lot.
But I'll say that I don't always like 60 FPS. Certain games that's on 60 FPS, my eyes are like, bah. Maybe it's because I'm old.
Maybe.
And I'm just used to the old thing. But like for like League of
Maybe.
Legends, I like it.
Yeah.
Higher frame rate because I need every frame for every little thing.
I
But like first person shooters, I'm actually pretty okay with 30 FPS. Like it runs and I can see what's going on and I'm happy.
Yeah,
I disagree.
I don't agree with that. But you are right in the sense that the human eye, can only take so much. This is one reason why when the first Hobbit movie came out, and it came out in like
Didn't we do like 120?
130 FPS,
Oh, yeah,
I
something
believe.
like that.
And so that is a lot, and it
People got sick.
Yeah, people got sick because of how smooth it was, or whatever.
But you can see it. You can see the smoothness.
You
It's
can
just
see it,
some
but
people.
if it makes you uncomfortable.
Well, yeah, you don't want to watch a movie at a higher frame rate than 24 though, because it'll make you sick, probably, right?
No, I never got sick.
Well, I guess Ryan's.
I got sick because it was boring. And it was not as good as the Lord of the Rings movies.
There's gonna be people that watch this in the comments and be like, "Wow, these guys don't know what they're talking about." So I apologize if I'm not saying anything right, but I like to think I know a lot about this. So, but
They're wrong. You're right.
yeah,
Don't listen to them.
yeah,
But we're also talking off the cuff with
Yeah.
minimal information.
yeah.
So a lot of times people on the internet will have time to watch and look up something and be like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm actually an expert because I Googled this and was reading it right now and I'm pasting exactly what it said.
But I guess the overall point is that this is a good update for Xbox owners. It doesn't really help either console that well, besides maybe the low latency mode and the 1440p output. But in the next generation, I hope that they continue to put updates like that so that console gamers can get the best experience just like PC gamers can. I still think if you're going to get better performance, you may as well just build a PC anyway. But if consoles are your
Yeah,
thing,
if you have that money.
it's not as expensive.
Which I do.
But I have a $700 computer that probably matches the Xbox One X. It's still $200 more than the Xbox One X. But it's worth it for the extra $200 for me. But yeah, good update for Xbox One X and Xbox One S owners. Hope you're all enjoying it. Let us know what you think in the comments below. If you think your console maybe runs better, if you think your games are running better. But we're going to go ahead and jump to the main topic because we don't want to go super long like last podcast. So, one of the biggest debates in gaming, the casuals versus the hardcores. For those of you that I guess don't know what a hardcore or a casual gamer is.
And we're not talking about porn.
No.
Keith might.
Anyways.
Yeah, they're those casual porn users.
Casual versus hardcore users.
That's not what I'm talking about. But we'll pretend that's what I'm talking about.
I should make that the intro of this podcast.
Just turn
That'll get us some viewers, right? No. Anyways, so casual versus hardcore gaming. We want to talk about the differences. What is casual gaming? What is hardcore gaming? Do we know hardcore gamers? Do we know casual gamers? And what are we? So let's start with the first subtopic here. What makes a casual or a hardcore gamer?
Okay, the first thing I have to say about this is that the answer to this question is going to be changing and evolving all the time.
Mm-hmm.
The next thing is, do we count professional gamers in this?
Yes.
Well, then I would say, okay, well, they're the hardcore gamers. Everyone else probably isn't. If that's the standard we're going. If we throw them out as an out group, then I think we have a little more discussion to be had.
Well, I wouldn't say that just because a professional gamer is a hardcore gamer. That wouldn't rule out other people who aren't professional. Because there are some people who aren't hardcore. Because there are some people who aren't professional that pretty much that's all they do is gaming, but they suck at it. Like that's.
It's true. I've seen people.
I love them.
I've seen people in Overwatch who their level is just so astronomically high, but they're in the lowest percentile of bronze, and it's like, well,
yeah, I'm like
do
200 something. I'm bronze. I mean, I hardly play competitive.
It was you. I was like, I'm just kidding.
You were my example.
Oops. Shots fired.
No, but no, people that I played with who are terrible because I play with them, yet they're such a higher level than me. Maybe they're outliers, maybe they're not, but it's true. Like, would they be a hardcore gamer if they spend that much time doing it? I guess that's the question we're trying to answer.
See, in my opinion, and this is me, and I think that's also part of the problem with this discussion is everyone has their own opinion. So my opinion is I don't think it matters. Someone who plays phone games only, yeah, they might not understand everything, but I still think, that's a gamer. Like, what was a gamer when you played Pac-Man? I'm like, games on your phone are 100 times better than that, but you would have considered those people gamers. People that buy the Sega or the Nintendo games? What was it that they recently came out with? They re-released their old consoles.
The NES Classic,
NES
SNES
Classic, and SNES Classic. People went nuts for those. Those games are awful. I could play a way better game on my phone, but you would still consider them gamers, and maybe even more hardcore because they're like, yeah, I've been playing games forever. So in my opinion, it doesn't matter. If you play games, you're a gamer, and that's what a gamer is. Now, maybe hardcore and casual is a little bit different. I guess being a gamer is a different topic altogether. Hardcore gamers, I would consider myself not hardcore because I don't play enough, probably. Mm-hmm. And especially I find myself busy with other things. Sometimes I'm hardcore, sometimes I'm casual, but I would say the difference is maybe just playtime.
Okay, yeah. Keevan, I do have a question for you in regards to you saying it doesn't matter if someone does play games on a phone and makes them a gamer. I don't want to strip the title of gamer from anyone, but what if someone does play a game, but they don't consider themselves a gamer, or they don't want to be labeled a gamer? What would you say to them? Would you still be like, no, since you play Candy Crush, and that's like the only game they play, and they just play it on the subway, you are a gamer? But they're like, no, I'm not.
They play video games. So I guess, according to the definition, yes, they're a gamer.
What if they play it once a week?
They play a video game, hence they're a gamer.
Okay.
And if you play a sport sometimes, you're not going to tell them, hey, you never play sports, as they play basketball.
But then again, you wouldn't exactly call them an athlete either.
Yeah, but we're also not calling these people athletes or professional gamers. I would say that's the difference. Is you're putting in the time, but I could say I've played sports before because I have, but and I could even say I played volleyball recently. I played a sport. I wouldn't say that.
You're a volleyball player?
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm a volleyball player, but I also wouldn't say I didn't play volleyball. So that's the difference, is they're still playing a game.
Right.
So they might not be a hardcore gamer, but they're still a gamer.
Well, it's kind of getting off a little into the weeds, though. I do agree with Keefen, though, about the casual versus hardcore. I think it more has to do with time spent playing, because I would consider myself a casual gamer, too, because I probably play video games a little more frequently than Keefen, since he's married and now that my girlfriend's not
But now that I'm out of
even
school,
in the country.
let's see.
But either way, I probably spend a little more time than you do, and I still consider myself a casual gamer, just because, like, if I lose a rank in Heroes or League or something, like, I don't scramble and I don't lose any sleep over it. But at the same,
I get pissed. Especially when I'm trying. If I do, I'm like,
but yeah, I don't spend a lot. I don't spend more than probably maybe max 3 hours, and that's on a very, very very lazy day for me if I'm playing 3 hours of video games a day. But usually I'll only go
maybe
like
more
an hour or
weekend.
2. Yeah, it's more weekend time. Because there's other stuff I'd like to do too, and other stuff.
But
that I have
Nick
to
plays
do.
more games than probably most of us. So what would his opinion be?
Yeah.
I bet it's going to be different.
Different? Yes and no. I think that if you just play Candy Crush once a week, you're not a gamer. Because I think gamers like to identify themselves as gamers. I think it's kind of like part of their identity. Like, I'm a gamer. I like to play a lot of video games. I have the merch. I have the collectibles. I have some.
You do research on the side.
You do research on the side. You make a YouTube channel with 3 of your friends and play horribly at games. What? No, that's not us, right? Just kidding. But I think gamer is kind of a self-identifying thing. I consider myself a gamer but I also play a lot of video games. I've played 110 hours of Breath of the Wild. I've played over 300 hours of Overwatch. And there's people who've played even more than that. There's people who have thousands of hours in Overwatch right now.
Well, I don't want to know how much I played League of Legends.
And then how many hours have I put into League of Legends? How many hours have I put into some of my Steam games? Rocket League,
like Skyrim.
Skyrim, man. Imagine. I wonder how much time.
Or Oblivion.
Yeah.
You guys.
But I think if you play Candy Crush once a week, you're not a gamer. You just happen to play a game. Because if I go play basketball once a month with these guys, I'm not a basketball player. I just went and played basketball. But if I follow the NBA, I follow NCAA, I play basketball a lot in the week, I follow the sport, I am a basketball player.
Okay, so you do define yourself as a gamer.
Yes, I do.
But
Hardcore
or casual?
Hardcore casual? I think that's where more of the debate comes in for me. Because I do think hardcore has a lot to do with time spent, but also maybe difficulty. And what I mean by that is, do you play your games on? Did you play the Uncharted series in Explorer mode, which is the easiest mode? It's like basically just walks you through the story, and you don't even really have to do much. I think that's what Explorer mode does, because I haven't played Explorer, but I always play in the normal difficulty. Or did you play the Uncharted series on the hardest difficulty, and you tried to get all the collectibles? And you try to make it the hardest experience possible. Are you a bronze Overwatch player, or are you?
It's not to point anyone out.
I'm just kidding. I'm only silver, so it's not like I'm not any better than him. Or are you a diamond or a masters Overwatch player? I think those are the hardcores, and I think casual is you just like to play games for fun. There's no competitive mindset for you. You're not like, I have to get this rank. I have to get this collectible. I have to beat this specific boss.
So pretty much gold and below.
So let's take what you just said, and I'm going to say that that's maybe not right. Because, I had a time where I got laid off my job. I had 2 weeks in between that job and my next job. And at that time, I'd been playing a lot of League of Legends. It was during the summer, so that helped as well. But then I was out of work for 2 weeks. Didn't have to look for a job because I already had one lined up. Mm-hmm. So I hit it hard. I was watching videos on how to improve. I was making sure I knew all these things. I went from bronze 5 to gold 5 in 2 weeks. I would say at that
good.
moment,
Wow.
Especially in League, that's really
and it's hard to move up, especially
Yeah.
like you have to play the promotional games and do tons of stuff. It's not easy.
That's impressive.
So I would say at that time I was probably hardcore. I wasn't great. I improved remarkably from bronze 5 to gold 5, and I know a lot more now than I did. I don't play that hard anymore though. So should we then maybe have a middle ground? Is it too hard to separate from casual to hardcore to people that enjoy playing games and maybe sometimes enjoy playing them a little bit more, but also aren't into spending all their time doing it and getting 100%ing a game and getting every trophy or achievement and every collectible? Because I'm not that person. There's very few games where I ever, if ever, completed it 100%, but sometimes I do get obsessed and want to know the best way to play and do try to make myself way better.
No, that's true. I mean, that was mostly a joke about the gold and below thing, but but think about it.
I don't want to take that.
If you would have continued with that, I mean, even after working, if you would have spent all your free time on League instead of other things, you may have gone from gold to maybe platinum. If you would have, I guess, maintained the hardcore gaming, the hardcore gaming quo, or so to speak. I mean, you could have gotten probably to platinum or diamond, or I don't. Was there master?
It's so stressful.
But yeah, it's like that's
there's challenger. So challenger's where you're like constantly having to play, and that's also where you're going to go into like the League World Championship. And, I think there's only 500. No, I think it's only 100.
Wow.
And if you don't play, you get kicked out. And if anyone gets a little bit above you, you're kicked out.
Wow.
If you're at the bottom, of course.
Well, definitely.
So it's like one where
your rank decays if you don't play.
To answer your question though about asking like should we have a middle ground, I'm sure we could actually come up with a whole slew of variations.
But I like what Ryan said. Core gamers.
Yeah, that's what I
said.
said.
You said. Someone said it.
Core gamer.
Core gamer.
And I do think, like to your point, you can move up and down through this, depending on.
So it's malleable.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is that the right word? Malleable?
Yeah. Like, I wouldn't consider myself a hardcore gamer. Would I want to be if I had the time and money to just like spend all that time? I'd want to give it a try at least. I don't know if I'd want to keep doing that because gaming isn't the only thing I want to do. So I don't think I would ever become a hardcore gamer. But when I do get a game that I enjoy, I do want to be the best I can be at it. I would
so
like
would you
to
call
take
yourself
the time.
Ash Ketchum?
You want to be the very best, like no one ever was?
Well, no. I mean, I would want to be the best that I can be.
Fair.
Not the best in the world because, geez,
It's hard.
yeah. And so, I mean, and to your point, I agree as well with the Candy Crush, idea. If you play it once a week, I don't think you're a gamer, but I wouldn't try to convince you weren't.
Okay. So you wouldn't debate them on it.
I wouldn't, yeah, because in the end it doesn't matter.
You're right. Yeah.
But what if they're the best Candy Crush player in the world?
Yeah, what if they Candy Crush competitively?
Then yes.
So you're saying they crushed all their competition?
We need to edit in the.
Was
Pokemon
that a very
theme
sweet
song
pun?
As soon as Tanner
I'm
starts
just
saying he
going
wants to be the
to,
very best.
Yeah. Okay.
Too many puns. Okay.
Nick,
I get
super
it.
confused for a moment.
I was like, what is he doing? He cut me out of the shot.
Oh my gosh. That's okay. This is good content anyway.
Yeah, well,
because we can react to it.
It's content.
It's content.
Whether it's good is up for debate. Should Nick be removed from the podcast?
Comment below.
Topic of our next podcast show.
Anyways, back to our point. All right, well, how about this? So, certain games can be considered casual or hardcore games. So, what games are considered casual and what games are considered hardcore?
Candy Crush hardcore.
I think you can play certain online multiplayer games casually. Like Overwatch, you can play that once a week or even once a month. Not a whole lot of stuff changes. I mean, the dynamics and the gameplay are still the same. But like if you buy Final Fantasy and you play that once a month, you can't really get very far by just doing that. And so I think it's harder to play casually with just first player games. But
I would say it's easier to play casual with first player games because you don't have the competition. Unless it's like a Dark Souls game, and then it's just you're hardcore because you're playing Dark Souls.
Yeah, that's
so.
fair.
I mean, I think that kind of harkens back a little bit to something you said, Nick. That hard games as well as time spent on games might make it a little more hardcore. But if it's a really hard game or the competition aspect, so multiplayer might be more hardcore because I can play Skyrim for 20 minutes, which will never happen. If I pick it back up, it's not going to be 20 minutes. But I could theoretically pick up Skyrim for 20 minutes. Play a little bit, have some fun, do maybe a tiny little side quest, and then be done and not play it for another year.
Sure, I think you
so
can.
I would say in that way it's more casual because I don't have to compete with anyone.
Okay, but I think then we also have to separate it open world versus not. Final Fantasy and Skyrim are different because
Not the new Final Fantasy.
Well, yeah, but if you're going, with Final Fantasy, it is pushing you in one way. You can go
linear versus open world.
Good point. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can play it casually. I don't think you get your money's worth, but if you play Overwatch casually once a month and you do that for a while, I think you do.
Okay. What do you think, Brian?
I think kind of more along the lines of what Tanner's talking about.
That's right.
If I'm buying a game, I usually try to. That's the game I'm focusing on at the time. I try to make sure that I beat it, and then if I want to go back and go through it again, like for example for Final Fantasy, if I want to go back and try and get all the secret weapons or all the ultimate weapons, or if I want to try and go back and make go like in Final Fantasy VII, I've played it through a couple times with different party members, just because I wanted to try and power them up and see the different limit breaks and see if I can beat it with the different characters versus just the first time playthrough where you just go with the most powerful characters and that you can find just to get through the story.
Yeah. That reminds me of Super Mario 64. And I don't know if this relates, but I want to bring it up in the sense of, continuing to play a game after you beat it. So in that game, you need stars to be able to open up certain doors and progress through the game. You only need 70 stars to be able to beat the game. Yet you can get 120. So I did go and get 120 because I did want to play through it and get all the rest of those stars. But what happens once you get those stars is that you can get into a cannon outside and shoot yourself up onto the roof of the castle. And then there's Yoshi there, who doesn't play any part of the game other than that. And then when you talk to him, he's like, okay, yeah, thank you for playing Super Mario 64. This is the end of the game, but we don't want you to stop playing, so here's 99 lives. And so I get it, but I'm done.
So I would say, as opposed to that, with the new Mario, and I know this because I recently watched a video, and I'm kind of excited to get Mario Odyssey,
It's a good game.
If you collect all the moons, it's moons for some reason.
Yeah.
You can go to like a super hard last level.
Right.
Where it's on the moon. And you
go to the moon regardless, though.
But I think this one might be specific. Actually, I don't even know if it is. All I know,
maybe it's a different level.
There is a dark side of the moon, which is hard anyways, right?
Yeah.
But then there's the last level where there's no checkpoints, and you basically have to combine everything you've learned throughout the entire game, like different things you've controlled and they're different, the way they work and everything like that, and try to beat it. And there's no checkpoints, so if you die completely halfway through it, you have to start all the way over, and it's not super short.
That sucks.
So it's frustrating. I probably would never play that. Because maybe I'll try it once or twice, but I'll get annoyed. That's not a game that I'll be hardcore enough about to probably ever want to beat that level. But I would have fun with the game. So, I mean, I guess you could say that any game has the potential, or certain games have potential to be hardcore versus casual, depending on how you play the game, right?
And I think that's basically what I was going to say too. I think a lot of games just cater to both and some games just feel more hardcore to me. Like you can play League of Legends casually. You can just play the rotating game mode. You can just play normal draft or quick.
He'll get screamed at and sworn at, but you can.
Less in normal games, more ranked.
But I still think League itself is just a harder game to master, and I consider it more of a hardcore game, even if you just play it casually. Whereas I think Overwatch is easier to just pick up and play than League. Someone might disagree with me on that, but I think Overwatch is easier to pick up and play than League.
So what about a Dark Souls? Would that just be hardcore?
I don't know.
Is there any casual way to play that game?
So I can confess I've never played Dark Souls.
Oh, I haven't either, but I've seen it.
Yeah,
I've never played it.
And I'm gonna actually think I'm gonna
get
it.
Some Bloodborne, which is by the same developer, and it's a very similar.
When did you have a PlayStation?
One of my buddies had it in my apartment, so he was like, "Try it out," and I was like, "I hate this."
You don't like Bloodborne?
Did
you like it because it was too hard, or you just didn't like the game?
Yeah, for me, I don't, and I'm going to contradict myself by saying this because I played ranked League. I don't usually like a game that's just there to stress me out and be super hard just to be hard. And I didn't play it from the beginning. I played like a boss later on in the game, and I didn't get a start at like an earlier part, so I didn't know all the mechanics. I'd never played any of the other games before. So in that way, it might have been a little bit harder for me, but like nothing about that game draws me to it. For me, it's not as fun to play a game where you're fighting bosses where it's just you have to learn what buttons like. I get the appeal, but for me, it's not an appeal to just know, oh, with this boss, I have to do this, this, and this to beat them.
Okay.
Like for me, it's more fun to kind of like figure it out on your own. In those games, like you have to find out the one way. Maybe there's a couple ways. I could be wrong, or a game that's just there to be hard for being hard's sake. That I like to play games more for fun. So that might be the more casual gamer person. likes that more. So I don't know. Maybe there is a way to play it casually, but I would say that's more of a hard game, just out the gate.
I agree with that. So Counter-Strike Go is another game I don't really follow that much, but I just hear a ton about it because it's a really big esport. And I don't know people who play that game casually because every time I hear someone talking about Counter-Strike, they're always talking about ranked. They're always talking about the pros, and I feel like maybe Counter-Strike is not a very casual-friendly game. I could be totally wrong. So if the CSGO community sees this video, tell me I'm wrong. There's a super casual community. But I think Counter-Strike is another game that's more hardcore because there's a lot of mechanics that are involved with the aiming and stuff like that. So I guess the debate comes down to this. You know, some games are maybe more hardcore, some games are more casual. But I think maybe the majority of the most played games right now cater to both parties in some way. Could we all agree on that?
I mean, yeah. I do think League of Legends is a hard game, but it has ways for you to play casually. And it's not a game designed to be hard because what you're going up is just your competition.
Right.
But you do have to learn the different champions, who goes well against who, what the meta is, how to make a good build, what rune system you want.
The casual people wouldn't care.
Yeah,
so
that's why they play ARAM, right?
If you're casual and you're playing against other people who are casual, who know just as much as you about build, then...
So maybe more successful games do cater to both. Because I would say that League, and I don't have to speculate, it is like the biggest game ever. Essentially,
pretty much.
It makes billions of dollars just casually almost.
And it's a free game.
But it's like, I think maybe part of its popularity compared to other games is the fact that it caters to both. Yeah. While other games like Dark Souls sell well, but to their people.
Yeah.
And they don't sell as well to casual people because of that aspect of it's hard to get into.
Kind of like Overwatch 2. It can be really competitive.
But it also caters to the casual.
But it caters to the casual.
Yeah, and then in League, I don't know anything about the builds. I just buy the items that the game recommends. I never base it off of what...
Is that why you were feeding?
I'm sure to an extent I should build magic resist or armor.
No.
Nope, I just
Ryan doesn't do that.
I just buy the items that
But that's like basic.
He's a casual League player. That's fair. Filthy casual. Just kidding.
He goes straight from that to Candy Crush.
No, he plays a Bejeweled Blitz or Bejeweled.
Yeah, he plays
Which I also play, so whatever.
Now that's a hardcore game, man.
Yeah.
Never played it.
Or Balloons.
But yeah. So I guess at the end of the day, casual versus hardcore debate. Some people consider themselves both. Some people consider themselves one or the other. But I guess it's more of an opinion at the end of the day. I mean, because you can't really define hardcore, I guess, from this discussion. I can say we can't exactly define it. We can't exactly define casual.
I'm a casual who doesn't want performance.
I'm a casual who only wants 30 FPS in all my games. But I guess the point is that everyone has a different opinion on it. I personally think that there are some games that are more hardcore just in general. There's not any way else to swing it. But we all have different opinions at the end of the day. But do we have any other final thoughts, gentlemen?
I switch.
Yeah.
I just switch in between kind of just different varying times of my life. I'll switch between casual, core, or hardcore.
I was waiting for you to make a Nintendo Switch pun.
I was trying to go there.
It was in the end. It was at the tip of my tongue. I'm like, nope.
But my problem was I couldn't do it bringing it up myself, so I was really hoping someone would do it.
Well, I kind of indirectly brought it up.
Sorry, I ruined the pun.
So I would just say, yeah, I switch in between, but I'd say generally I'm casual.
Right.
And I would say I'm more of a hardcore gamer. I mean, I'm not very good at most of the games that I play. There are a couple that I'm pretty good at, like Zelda games, but I think I still consider myself hardcore just because of the amount of time and how much more than just playing games that I put into it. I also do other things.
I'd say I'm more core. I'm changing my mind. I'm more core.
You're more of a core gamer?
Yeah, because I'll put in the time depending on the game. But I would say I'm less casual, more core.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think most of us would be that core because like I'm in Heroes. I've put enough time where like I worked my way up from bronze to gold, and I can play pretty much on par with gold players. But in games like Overwatch, I play like maybe one competitive match a month. Like,
and it used to be more though.
It used to be more, but like it's just I switched my focus from Overwatch to Heroes because I feel like I perform better at Heroes than I do in Overwatch.
Yeah. I would say the same. Core gamer. Go with the mid right there. I think at times I slip into casual. If things get busy. Again, but about the definition, what makes casual versus hardcore? I think it's obviously a combination of a lot of things. But I think the two biggest are time and difficulty, like you mentioned before. If you want to improve yourself and you want to get to the next rank and you put a lot of time into it, and I'm talking about a lot of time and a lot of research, that's what can separate hardcore from casual. And that's what I believe.
All right. Well, this has been the All Chat Gaming Podcast, episode 3, I believe.
Yeah.
Third official episode.
Officially on fire.
We've been doing this for a month now, guys.
3.5.
We've been doing this for a month now, and we've been consistent. How does that feel? It feels pretty good, huh?
Yeah.
Don't let entropy kick in.
We won't. But anyways, thanks so much for tuning in, everybody. If you have any comments about anything we've talked about, please leave them in the comments. I'd love to have a discussion with somebody else who maybe thinks differently than me. I know a lot of us tend to have different opinions, but we want to hear your opinions as well. We want to engage with our audience more. What do you think of the Xbox One X update? What do you think of a casual and a hardcore gamer? Let us know. And don't forget to look out for our Let's Plays that we're continuing to put out. We're going to be putting up a Gang Beasts Let's Play this week. With 6 people.
It's going to be crazy.
Yeah, hardcore gamers.
Hardcore Gang Beasts. And then we're going to be putting up a Worms mini golf game. Yeah. Like the Worms from the Worms MD or WMD game.
I think actually if I want to become a hardcore gamer in any game, it's Gang Beasts.
Yeah.
I want to play that for the rest of my life.
You'll find out when you see that Let's Play why he wants to become hardcore in that.
But I don't want to play with Ryan.
Because he wins by default.
I'm too good.
Too good. All right, well, thanks so much, everybody. We'll catch you next week on the All Chat Gaming Podcast.
Bye.
Bye.